Should Canada be the 51st state? Let's look into the pros, cons, and what's the best path for Canadians. Hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a controversial and thought-provoking topic. Should Canada become the 51st state of the United States? This is a question that's been debated for decades, with strong arguments on both sides. We'll look at the political implications, economic factors, and most importantly, what this would mean for everyday Canadians. Let's get into it. The case for Canada becoming the 51st state. Let's start with the potential benefits. If Canada were to join the US, here's what could happen. Economic growth and trade. The US is Canada's largest trading partner. 1. If Canada were part of the US, trade barriers, tariffs, and currency exchange issues could disappear, potentially boosting business and investment. 2. Military and defense. Canada already collaborates closely with the US on defense through NATO and NORAD. As part of the US, Canada could gain more security guarantees and military funding. 3. More global influence. The US is a global superpower. If Canada joined, it could have a greater say in international policies and affairs. 4. Access to US programs. Canadians might benefit from programs like Medicare and Social Security, as well as access to the larger job market in the US. Stronger infrastructure and funding. Canada has vast land and infrastructure needs. Being part of the US could bring more federal funding for transportation, technology, and development projects. The case against Canada becoming the 51st state now. Let's look at why many Canadians would oppose this idea. Loss of sovereignty and identity. Canada prides itself on being distinct from the US with its own culture, healthcare system, and policies. 1. Becoming the 51st state would mean losing control over national decisions. 2. Political differences. Canada tends to lean more progressive on issues like healthcare, gun laws, and social welfare. Becoming part of the US could mean policy shifts that many Canadians don't support. Weaker social programs. The US healthcare system is very different from Canada's universal healthcare. 3. Canadians may not want to risk losing a system that provides care for all citizens. 4. Economic risks. While trade could improve, Canada's natural resources and industries could be at risk of being controlled by American corporations rather than Canadian interests. Potential cultural erosion. Canada has a unique cultural identity, with strong Indigenous, French, and multicultural influences. Merging with the US could dilute these cultural differences and shift national priorities. Let's look into some historical context. Believe it or not, the idea of Canada joining the US isn't new. Throughout history, there have been proposals and political movements supporting this idea. During the 19th century, some American expansionists believed Canada would eventually merge with the US. In fact, the War of 1812 was partly driven by the US attempt to take control of Canadian territory. Later, during the American Civil War, some Canadian politicians feared US annexation. Even in modern times, some smaller political groups and commentators have suggested unification, but these ideas have never gained widespread support. Canada's evolution as an independent nation has been deeply tied to resisting US control, maintaining its own identity, and establishing its own political systems. The political reality. Politically, would this even be possible? Well, it would require a massive constitutional change in both Canada and the US. There would have to be referendums, legal agreements, and ultimately approval from both governments. The likelihood? Extremely low. Historically, even provinces like Quebec have debated leaving Canada, and those discussions alone have been highly divisive. Beyond legal hurdles, public opinion plays a huge role. Surveys over the years have consistently shown that the majority of Canadians do not want to become part of the US. In contrast, some Americans may see benefits in gaining Canada's resources, but politically, it's not a priority for either government. So, what's truly best for Canadians? While there are arguments in favor of economic growth and security, the vast majority of Canadians value their independence and unique identity. Instead of becoming the 51st state, Canada may benefit more from strengthening its own economy, maintaining strong trade relations, and continuing to make independent decisions that serve its citizens. In the end, so, what do you think? Should Canada ever consider joining the US, or is it better off as its own nation? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.